We talked about flow, group flow, which you said is actually even more, I don't know if it's addictive or...
Yeah, people seem to, it's again, not my research. I think the guy who did that was Ken Revisa at Cal State Fullerton, I think. And I might have gotten he's one of the Cals, I think it's Fullerton. But I think he was the one who did that work originally. But yeah, we tend to produce, group flow is the state we prefer the most on the planet.
And what does that look like? And you talked about a company in group
Yeah,
flow.
so
are there churches in group flow and stadiums in group flow?
Is everybody in group flow, right? You've taken part in a great brainstorming session? That's group flow in action, right? Where the ideas are just banging off the walls, right? And, seeing a fourth quarter comeback in football, in soccer, in basketball. That's group flow in action.
The team is in flow.
Yeah, the team
is the stadium in flow with the team?
Well, that's an interesting question too, but I mean, like, you know, great oratory can move a crowd. Then you have communitas, right? Go to a concert, right? Where everybody's, you know, everybody's in flow together, right? Like the band's in flow and you're in flow with the band. It's a giant, that's communitas, right? It's basically group flow at scale is what it is. It was a guy named Keith Sawyer. Chicks at Me High thought that it was just a bunch of individuals in flow together. And a guy named Keith Sawyer's at the University of North Carolina. He spent 15 years analyzing Second City Television, right? The improv comedy troupe. Yeah, there was the feeder troupe into Most of Saturday Night Live and that stuff. Yeah. And he would look for the moment like the comedians came together and like the audience just started laughing hysterically, and you could see when group flow was happening. Like you could literally, and so he started working backwards from that, like what's causing it, and started to figure out that it's a distinct state. It's a thing. And now we are starting to understand a little bit about brain entrainment and some of the mechanisms, oxytocin, you know, those chemicals. And the other thing is that all the neurochemicals that show up in flow, there's 5 that we think show up in flow, maybe 6. Besides being performance-enhancing chemicals, besides being pleasure chemicals, they're all social bonding chemicals. So when you talk about romantic love, what is romantic love? It's norepinephrine and dopamine, right? When you talk about maternal...
Some people don't want to hear that.
I know they don't. But when you talk about maternal bonding, the bond between mother and child, or adult friendship, that's endorphins, right? These are social bonding chemicals. Serotonin is a social calming chemical, right? When there's anandamide, which is another psychoactive in flow, it's the same psychoactive that's in THC. It's the same chemical. And you know, if you've ever been stoned, you're more open to other people and their ideas, right? These are social bonding chemicals. So when you get them flowing through your system, if you've taken a company on a retreat where you do a ropes course, what do you think you're doing in the ropes course? You're trying to put everybody into flow so you can get these social bonding chemicals flowing through them so the group is tighter, so the company is tighter, so the organization is tighter.
So then you can recreate the flow in the workspace.
And the tightness, at least the camaraderie is there, right? Startups are really good for obvious reasons: novelty, unpredictability, complexity, risk. These are flow triggers. There's way more of them in startups than in companies that have been established for a long time. In fact, you know, I don't know if this is 100% true, but serial entrepreneurship, Peter Diamandis, who's my writing partner, Peter, I think, is onto his 24th company, right? And the addiction to starting a company, like, why would you get a company to the point that it's finally stable and making money and you're safe and you can breathe and you can exhale, right? And start another one. You're not, right? It's because you're addicted to the flow. You're not addicted to maybe every now and again there are ideas but you want the feeling that comes with that. And I think that's kind of one of the things that drives serial entrepreneurship for sure.